I knew something was wrong the second I walked back into my office and smelled oranges. I looked at my desk and froze. My custom $800 mechanical keyboard was literally swimming in a pool of sticky, orange juice, dripping onto my mouse pad. It wasn't just a spill. It was a deluge. A full, pint-sized glass had been overturned directly onto the center of the board. The orange liquid was pooled between the keycaps, seeping down into the plate, drowning the hand lube switches I had spent 3 weekends modifying. My nephew, Caleb, 8M, was standing next to my desk. He was holding an empty glass. His hands were sticky. His mouth was stained orange. "Oh," Caleb said, looking at the puddle. "It slipped." I dropped the stack of mail I was holding. I rushed to the desk, grabbing the keyboard cable to unplug it before the PCB shorted out. But as I lifted the heavy aluminum case, orange juice poured out of the USB port like a waterfall. Drip, drip, drip. It splashed onto my expensive desk mat. It ran down my arm. "You poured it," I whispered, staring at the ruin of my hobby. "You didn't spill it. You poured it." The coverage was too even. The glass was empty. He had dumped it. "I wanted to see if it was waterproof," Caleb admitted, wiping his nose on his sleeve. "The one on TV was waterproof." "This isn't a TV." I shouted. My mom's friend, Linda, walked in from the hallway. She had brought Caleb over while she caught up with my mom. She saw me holding the dripping keyboard. She saw the juice all over my desk. "What happened?" she asked, her tone accusatory. "Why is Caleb upset?" "He poured juice into my keyboard," I said, my voice shaking. "He destroyed it." Linda walked over. She looked at the keyboard. She looked at the puddle. "Oh," she said. "Well, accidents happen. Just wipe it off. It's plastic, right?" "It's aluminum," I said. "And the switches are electronic. The PCB is electronic. Linda, this keyboard cost $800. It's custom built. And now it's filled with sugar and acid." $800. Linda laughed. It was a condescending, dismissive laugh. "For a keyboard? Don't be silly. I bought a keyboard at Best Buy for $20. It works fine. You probably overpaid for some fancy lights. Just put it in the dishwasher." "The dishwasher? Ist daher. That would destroy it even more. This needs to be desoldered. The switches need to be opened and cleaned individually. The PCB might be fried. This is hours of work, if it's even salvageable." "You're being dramatic," Linda sighed, grabbing some paper towels from my desk and dabbing ineffectually at the keycaps, pushing the juice deeper into the switches. "Look, I'm cleaning it. Stop yelling at a child. He was just testing it. He's curious. You should encourage that scientific mind." Scientific mind. I pulled the keyboard away from her aggressive wiping. "He destroyed my property. I told him no drinks in the office." "He forgot." Linda snapped. "He's 8. God, you are so materialistic. Crying over a computer accessory. Grow up, op. It's just a toy for typing." I looked at the sticky mess in my hands. I looked at the juice soaking into the custom GMK keycaps, a set that took 2 years to ship. "You're paying for this," I said. "I am not," Linda declared. "I'm not paying a fortune for a toy you left out. Now excuse us. We are going to the kitchen. This room smells like oranges." She grabbed Caleb's hand and walked out, leaving me standing in a puddle of sticky, expensive regret. I grabbed a microfiber cloth, not that it would help much, and frantically dabbed at the pooling liquid. I turned the keyboard upside down. Orange juice poured out from between the keys, splashing onto my socks. I tried to press the spacebar. Squish. It went down, but it didn't come back up. It just stuck there, held in place by a rapidly drying cement of high-fructose corn syrup. I pressed the Enter key. Crinkle stick. The smooth, thucker sound I had spent hours perfecting with Krytox lube and films was gone, replaced by the sickening sound of wet sugar grinding against plastic. "Are you still messing with that?" Linda poked her head back into the room. She had a half-eaten cookie in her hand. "Come have a snack. You're being antisocial." Antisocial? I stood up, holding the dripping keyboard like a dead animal. "Linda, listen to this." I pressed a row of keys. Crunch, Squish. Stick. It's ruined, I said. The sugar has gummed up the switches. The acid is eating the PCB traces. This isn't something I can just wipe off. It's inside the mechanism. Linda rolled her eyes, taking a bite of her cookie. God, you are so dramatic. Just use some Windex. Or run it under the sink. It's waterproof, right? That's what Caleb said. Caleb is 8. I shouted. He saw a commercial. This is custom electronics. It is not waterproof. And now it's dead. Well, Linda shrugged, leaning against the doorframe. Maybe you shouldn't buy such expensive computer stuff if it breaks so easily. I mean, my Dell keyboard has had coffee spilled on it like 10 times and it still works. Sounds like you bought a lemon. A lemon? I felt my face getting hot. This is a precision instrument. I built it by hand. I soldered the switches. I lubricated the stabilizers. It's worth $800 because of the labor and the parts. 800, she repeated, shaking her head. You keep saying that number like I'm supposed to be impressed. I think you're foolish. Who spends rent money on a keyboard? It's just for typing emails. You got scammed, OP. And now you're trying to scam me to pay for your mistake. My mistake? I stepped toward her. Your son poured a beverage into my property. That is not my mistake. That is negligence. He was testing a hypothesis, she argued. He's smart. And you left a cup unattended. If you care so much about your precious clicking toy, you should have locked it in a vault. Honestly, this is a lesson for you. Don't leave things out when kids are over. I was gone for 5 minutes. I yelled, to get the mail. Plenty of time for an accident, she said smugly. Look, I'm not paying you $800. That's absurd. I'll buy you a Logitech from Walmart. They have wireless ones. You'll like it better. I don't want a Logitech. I snapped. I want my GMK keycaps. I want my Zelio switches. You owe me the replacement cost. I owe you nothing, she declared, turning to leave. In fact, you owe Caleb an apology for yelling at him. He's crying in the car. You hurt his feelings. He hurt my wallet. Money isn't everything, she preached, walking down the hall. Family is. And right now, you are being a terrible family friend. We are leaving. Don't call us until you calm down and apologize. I heard the front door slam. I stood there, the smell of oranges overwhelming the room. I looked at the keyboard. The juice was starting to get tacky. She thought I was crazy. She thought it was a toy. I pulled out my phone. I took a video of the keys sticking. I took photos of the juice inside the USB-C port. I wasn't going to calm down. I was going to find a repair specialist to give me a quote on liquid damage restoration. And then I was going to send Linda a bill that she couldn't ignore. I waited until the house was quiet to perform the autopsy. I unscrewed the aluminum case. The bottom was pulled with sticky orange sludge. I lifted the PCB, printed circuit board. It was worse than I thought. The acid from the juice had already started to corrode the solder points. There were scorch marks near the microcontroller where the power had shorted out before I could unplug it. I desoldered one of the Zelio switches. I opened the housing. The tactile leaf and the spring were coated in crystallized sugar. It was impossible to clean. To fix this, I would have to replace every single switch, the PCB, and likely the stabilizers. Essentially, I needed to build a new keyboard. I compiled a list of the components and their current market value, since many were limited group buys. Case, aluminum 65% $350. PCB, hot swap $60. Switches, Zelio's V2X70 $80. Keycaps, GMK Olivia++ $250, resale value. Stabilizers, Duroc V2 $25. Labor, assembly a lube film $150, conservative estimate. Total replacement cost, $915. The invoice. I created a professional invoice. I attached photos of the corrosion. I attached screenshots of the keycap prices on eBay. I texted it to Linda. Linda, here is the breakdown of the damage Caleb caused. The total is $915. Please let me know how you would like to handle this. The message sat on delivered for an hour. Then, I got a notification. You have been blocked by this user. I checked Facebook. Blocked. I checked Instagram. Blocked. She was ghosting me. She thought if she ignored the crazy keyboard guy, I would go away. The court case. I didn't go away. I went to the county clerk. I filed a small claim suit for $915 plus court costs, $80. The court date was set for 2 months later. Linda showed up looking furious. She didn't have a lawyer. She brought the Logitech keyboard she had bought at Walmart, still in the box. Your Honor, she told the judge, slamming the box on the table. This man is harassing my family. He wants $1,000 for a keyboard. Look at this one. It has lights. It has buttons. It cost me $29. He is trying to scam me. I walked up to the bench. I handed the judge my evidence binder. It contained receipts for every part. It contained photos of the build process. It contained the photos of the juice-filled PCB. Your Honor, I said, this is a custom-built mechanical keyboard. It is a hobbyist item, similar to a custom car or a tailored suit. The defendant's son poured liquid directly into the electronics. The judge, a woman with glasses who looked like she typed a lot, examined the photos. She looked at the invoice. The judge said to Linda, the plaintiff has provided receipts. These keycaps alone cost more than your replacement offer. You cannot destroy a luxury item and replace it with a budget item. But it's just for typing. Linda argued. It does the same thing. A Honda Civic and a Porsche both drive, the judge countered. But if you crash a Porsche, you owe the owner for a Porsche. Judgment for the plaintiff. The verdict. The defendant is ordered to pay $915 plus $80 in court costs. Linda gasped. I don't have that. I have to pay for Caleb's piano lessons. Then maybe you should teach Caleb not to pour juice on electronics, the judge said. The aftermath. She refused to pay. I had to garnish her wages. It took almost a year of small deductions from her paycheck to get the full amount. I built a new board. A better one. And this time, I keep it in a drawer when guests are over. My mom thinks I was petty for suing her friend. But last week, I saw Linda at the grocery store. She saw me, turned her cart around, and practically ran to the other aisle. She knows. And honestly, that fear is worth more than the $915.